hard-hitting players. But for now, enough about challengers, Lethal. Let's get into the Pro League. This is going to be map number 1 between Spart1e and ZenAku. We are live for week 13 on Vale, and we're starting off on Spart1e.
Spart1e's playing is quite slow. See what mischief ZenAku's going to be up to. We'll find him in that rail room. Hasn't used a turret as of yet. And the Mega's been delayed heavily. It just depends on... I think he's just trying to at least get an indicator of how far away ZenAku is so he doesn't hear that Mega pickup. So, of course, ZenAku's not going to know the timing of that. And just biding his time once more. Still got the high ground, still got high advantage. Had to tank that first rail, trying to get a few shots here and there with that tri-bolt. Heavy is still up. But once again, like I mentioned before, ZenAku does not know when that Mega's going to appear.
Dealt with Timmy nicely. So battle of Timmy versus Totems here. Spart1e just waiting on the high ground, trying to figure out exactly where Zen might peek from. Clean Mega, and as you said, that delay. ZenAku doesn't really have any idea. I think he may have heard it, so on the next cycle he might have an opportunity here. Nice little volley of tri-bolt from Spart1e as he's trying to take the low ground and make his way to this heavy, and well done, and this should be clean here as ZenAku grabs that armor shard. He is gone. He needs to try and avoid all of this pressure here from Spart1e, and Spart1e's doing a good job of controlling the map so far.
Yeah, he's not overexerting himself. He knows that at some stage the frags will come. It's just a matter of time. ZenAku just trying to find a way to get a little bit of trip damage here. He's a little bit cornered around that TP, but he should be fine now. And Spart1e just dropping down that turret in case he does go back through and have a little surprise for him. Comes up the LG, gets 36 to him, and an additional 34 from that last rocket. And tri-bolt heaven here. And speaking of heaven, just found a nice bunch of totems down that corridor, and again just trying to get a few of his rockets off. Not really getting the damage he would like. Has to back away. He's already tanked way too much. 43 HP. Needs to try and get away as soon as physically possible. But ZenAku, again, just prioritizing the angle rather than going in for the kill, as he's now flanked back around. Heavy up in the next 5 seconds. Mega's going to be up for quite a while, but Spart1e does have a turret in hand when necessary.
Spart1e needs more rockets. I'm going to re-up. As yeah, really nice play there from Zen. Just a series of tickles with the LG, but enough to push Spart1e off, and now he's stuck. Rail up close. There's 2 in a row. And that's kind of the Spart1e factor right there. A lot of rockets from below, a little bit of damage, but the Mega will go to Zen, and now the problem for Spart1e is staying alive on the cross. 13 HP after the rail from Zen. Can he make it? A little bit of a tickle, 20 HP, and there it is, the machine gun to close it. ZenAku will open up this game and put the first frag on the board at just shy of 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's a little bit of time. It's not something you normally see on Vale with a scoreline of 1-0 after just 3 minutes. And already going straight and try and make it a second. Not yet. Looking to see if he's going up that rail jump pad, which he will not. ZenAku now is going to pick up the Megas. Very heavily stacked. And once again, just biding his time. He's playing this right. He's got the angles, he's got the height advantage, he's got everything he needs. It's just a matter of how Spart1e's going to try and approach this here. Good damage already coming up from ZenAku. Just using those totems there, just put them at the top. Oh, Spart1e's so close to being cleaned up from those totems, but it should get cleaned up anyway, even after the amount of damage taken by those rockets from Spart1e previously. I'm quite surprised that Spart1e hasn't been taken down as of yet. Just ZenAku wants these frags to be as clean as possible rather than just diving on in and taking unnecessary damage.
Yeah, both players very measured. I like it. As you said, 1-0 on Vale, about 4 minutes in. That's a rare sight to see. Ooh, what a rail angle there from ZenAku. Free heavy, and this might be it. Here's the drop, a little bit of LG from Spart1e, but it's not going to be enough. ZenAku finds his second frag, looking for more potentially. Just a warning stream of LG there, making sure that he doesn't push through the Thunderdome and might get caught out here. Spart1e needs to be careful. The rockets, will they save him? So little HP after all that LG. Good rocket damage in return, but still very, very weak here. Zen has full control of the map, but he is going to lose out on the heavy based on that play. And now it's just a matter of positioning. Can Spart1e get back for the Mega Lethal?
That's been the real question indeed. Spart1e will have to fight for that totem if he wants anything from ZenAku. On top of that tri-bolt area. Oh, nice little rail there coming out from Spart1e. Still throwing up those totems, just trying to bait him out. But look at this, Spart1e just standing his ground and hitting some top-notch rails here. ZenAku isn't available as of yet. does manage to get away. Looking very good in terms of his ammo management throughout the entirety of this matchup. But Spart1e knows that he can still take his time and play patiently, and still got 5 minutes left. Only down by 2. Now using that try-bot to see if he can tickle him a little bit more here, but instead trusting it well, misses, hits the second one at least, but still isn't going to charge in willy-nilly as of yet. Spart1e does back up, goes on top Mega, picks Fen up, Heavy's going up the next 5 seconds, and this is going to be very important for both these players to change the way this game's been playing so far.
Ooh, big rocket. Zen, very risky there, risking it all as Spart1e can't land the rail he needs. He's shooting 72% lethal. He's not utilizing it a ton, only 8 from 11, but not bad. As he will force Zen back to the low ground. He should be able to claim this Mega, but Zen flying through after the tri-bolt on the rail. Surely he can't contest it now as he wanted to try. You saw the glimpse, and oh no! The combo! Oh, Sync with the assist on that one. Spart1e pushes him into the acid, and you know what they say about taking acid, always have a babysitter. 2-1 now. Spart1e trying to work his way back into this. Totem back in hand for ZenAku. But wow, unfortunate.
It was, and that was what you said is very true indeed. Spart1e trying to push on forward. ZenAku's just at the bottom TP, just waiting for him to come on forward, but actually gets charged. It'll be now 2 apiece between the two. 3.5 minutes left. Misses that rail, but wasn't exactly the easiest. Heavy snap now. ZenAku isn't even in position to contest it. This is looking very good for Spart1e. It's been quite a while since we've seen Spart1e play this method or this style of play. Not something most people are really used to on Veil alone. But this is good though from Spart1e. Stack, you know, got a slight advantage here, but the turret's up and ready. He's trying to clean up all these totems as well as he goes by. Mega's up in the next couple of seconds, so is the Heavy. But this is looking very solid indeed. Again, just a matter of time for him. ZenAku is a little bit trapped. Nice bit of damage here from the tri-bot. Misses the first rail. Trying to go for the second. Rocket jumps up instead. Doesn't get him. And ZenAku pretty damn happy with that, considering that could have been another frag in favour of Spart1e if he'd got away with it. Again, using that tri-bot to do a little bit of a tickle. That 64 though could give him the indicator to push on forward. Does he get him? No, he doesn't. ZenAku made the right play there. Hits him though. This could be a charging performance. 34 HP, but ZenAku's almost as weak, maybe a little bit weaker. Hits him, and that is going to be Spart1e with the lead. 2.5 minutes left here for ZenAku to try and make a comeback here.
Spart1e just playing so well. He's starting to control all of the map, denying the armor shards, as you saw. Struggled a little bit getting the damage he needed, but finally put the frag on the board. Now the tri-bolt volley. Good damage, good rail as well. Timmy guarding the corner in case Zen pushes, and Zen well aware of that, taking him out. But Spart1e is going to grab another Heavy, it looks like. Here's ZenAku trying to do some damage. There's the push. He knows the time is of the essence. 2 rockets, but the LG's too strong. And ZenAku wins that, ties it at 3. What a play.
And those rockets from Spart1e were so good. So it wasn't the cleanest of frags from ZenAku. But it doesn't matter, because at this stage, he's pretty much recovered. Still got 1:40 left in play. Could go to sudden death, considering the way these two have been playing against each other all game long. But ZenAku, of course, high advantage.
What a rail!
Verticality there. Ooh, did have to stack. The rail's coming out from Spart1e. Huge. He's barely missing a beat here. But is he going to come through that? Yes, he does come through. Spart1e taking a huge risk. Both of them on very similar stacks. As Spart1e to pick up the lights, but ZenAku will pick up one of his own. Does have a turn in his back pocket. Isn't going to be available, but both items are up. ZenAku, of course, will prioritize the Heavy, but look at this. Spart1e's just hitting everything at the moment. 62% out of the 29 shots he's been hitting so far. But Spart1e, is he going to be able to get away? Yes, he does.
And I have never seen Spart1e just leave items up like that to play aggressive. It's brilliant. He's playing this to perfection, leaving the item up for himself, taking too much damage now. He doesn't have anything to fall onto. Don't fall into the acid. And with less than a minute now, it is not a great situation for Spart1e. Does have Timmy, needs to deal with the totem. Zen jumping onto that Heavy, taking a little bit of damage. With Spart1e trying to position it for this next Mega, but this could be death right here. Zen pushing through, dealing with Timmy, but there's another one deployed. Is he going to risk it all for this right now, Lethal?
Yeah, that's going to be the key question, which should be answered soon, but it seems like Spart1e has been quite aggressive so far over the last minute, but has fallen back into his old ways. 15 seconds left. Sudden death could be inevitable depending on this next engagement. Heavy is up. And look at this, ZenAku's not able to get it. He's not giving us contest it at all. Spart1e has the high ground also. Great tripod. It's actually gone straight through, but ZenAku does not have the stack to continue that bout. And does back away, but Spart1e catches him here. This could be huge. Finds him, knows that he's trapped in that rail room. It just depends in terms of a decision tree where ZenAku wants to try and go and approach, but it's already taken a lot of damage from that last rocket. Spart1e, again, not showing that characteristic where he'll just continue the aggression. Has backed away. Does actually flank around, but finds out that ZenAku has got away for the time being. Spart1e, look at the stack advantage out here. A little bit worried for ZenAku at the moment, 40, but depends on how much chip damage he can do before he can re-engage.
What a great rail. ZenAku has to escape through the low ground, and Spart1e tracking his prey. This could be it. There's the Timmy turret. There's the rocket. Surely he can't get away from this. One more rocket. Can he find the rail? And he does! Picks him out of the sky, and Spart1e puts up map number 1 in the sudden death. And I think that is one of the more solid games we have seen Spart1e play this season. That was just beautifully executed, leaving up major items, putting on pressure when he knows he could fall back on certain items, denying armor shards. That was the whole game right there. That Spart1e did a fantastic job in map number 1.
And the angles he was finding the rails from as well. You've got to remember, he had 61% rail, yet it was most of them were from down below, and he didn't really have much of an advantage in terms of angles either, but he was just hitting everything. And it's nice to see him completely change the pace on 2 separate occasions. Obviously, the first half of the game, he was playing it slow, steady, wasn't, of course, overexerting himself on a number of occasions, wasn't being overly aggressive or panicking to try and close out a frag. He just took his time, and ZenAku was doing the exact same thing, and ZenAku, I'm sure, probably wasn't really used to it, or probably a little bit phased by it, just due to the fact that normally ZenAku will kind of be a little bit more aggressive compared to his opponent to clean out some of these frags. But of course, Spart1e there was playing out of his mind, playing at his advantages, and still being able to take that ridiculous stuff. And it was a very rail-heavy matchup considering he has some great rockets on top of that. 62%, as you can see, 1,751 damage. But we did say, though, for Spart1e, if he takes his first map, then, you know, the world is his oyster, isn't it, going into the next 2 maps. And don't forget, even though this is ZenAku's map pick, or the first map pick, we should say, going into the second map, for Spart1e, he's also, you know, the man's pretty damn good at Awoken as well. So he could easily take this series, but we know that he's had a few issues in the past where he just can't close them out. But for his sake, hopefully, if he plays like he did in that last matchup, then there's no reason why he can't.
Yeah, really beautifully done. Again, very patient, very measured from both players, and it's kind of rare to see from Spart1e, so it's kind of refreshing. He usually just plays a little bit like Dramus, where he's just like, railgun, shotgun, I can't tell the difference. But no, really well done from Spart1e. I hope he keeps that up in map number 2. Zen has a chance to reset here. He's going to have to if he wants to take the set. We're going to get into Awoken here shortly, and it's going to be Ranger versus DK, so a lot of balls lethal on this one. Whether they're dire or flaming, I'm not sure, but we'll see who kind of uses the ability better on this one. Between these 2 champs on Awoken, who would you pick in a game? Map 7, you know, going into it, let's say you could pick a champ before every map. Who are you going with, Ranger or DK on Awoken?
It's different. I'll probably go with the Ranger because it's probably the safest bet, really, in terms of like getting to some of those items, but of course, amount of damage you can do with the orb, but Death Knight has some great use. Of course, you know, it's not like the pre-patch Death Knight from back in the day where Razy had to use him at number 7 on Deep Embrace against, against Rafa at the time. That's still barcoded into my skull and kind of got bad memories of that, and I'm sure he does as well. But nowadays...
He's actually disgusted that you brought it up, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I do apologize. Sorry, Razy, I have to bring that for you. But yeah, going into it though, I would probably prefer the Ranger, but it's like, it's not a matchup you normally see on Awoken, is it? You don't really see the Ranger versus Death Knight. Normally you do see one or the other with it against a different champion, but yeah, this is going to be quite tough to call. But I would favour the Ranger only by like the smallest of margins here. It doesn't mean that Spart1e is going to be heavily favoured going into it, because like I said, both these 2 players are statistically very strong on this map, so it's going to be very tough to call. And I'm sure in terms of predictions, it's going to be quite a close affair.
Let's take a look.
Go on, I'll give a bit of a gander as well. Let's see what the chat are thinking. So it's actually still quite close.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's split, essentially. I mean, I feel like you should put more respect on Spart1e's name after that performance, but that's fair. People believe in ZenAku. They think that he's going to bring this one back. There is a slight delay, chat, sorry. Nick's just eating the cables. I don't know what it is. But we are going to get into map number 2 here shortly. But yeah, I think chat is fairly split on the predictions. I think some people made a boatload of points on that first map, so congrats. What did I always say? Predict the under. But yeah, I think the Ranger versus DK matchup, I kind of side with you where I feel like Ranger, the ability just lends itself to more uses. I mean, the Flame Strike is great if you can corner him over at the heavy, maybe, you know, on the other side of that drive-through window with the armor shard. But other than that, it's kind of maybe area of denial. Maybe some burst damage T-Con, but I feel like the Dire Orb, you can just get up close and personal with a shotgun. We all know how the players love the shotgun. And then, you know, just getting up to the armor shard from, you know, nail gun, stuff like that. Just mobility-wise, I think Ranger's tough to beat. And also the passive. Don't sleep on the passive. The rocket jumping around, gaining speed, getting to different areas easier. I think Ranger beats out DK on this one. So we'll see, though. It's all about the player using the champs, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Either
With
way.
the orb, you've got the damage. Of course, you can close out the frag, so you can get to the items a lot quicker, or at least through, like I said, the armor shard to heavy. And there's a lot of little things here and there. And of course, like I said, the passive ability. A lot of these players rocket jump here, then absolutely everywhere on Awoken. And for Spart1e, I think it kind of suits his aggressive nature. Not like we saw in that last match. We didn't see barely any of that. We saw it once for like probably about 30 seconds if we're lucky. But I'm hoping we see a little bit more of that coming out from him, because this will definitely suit his style of play here going into the Awoken, as we are going to be starting off from ZenAku's POV to see if he can claw his way back. Currently down 0-1 in the series, looking to see if he can create that reverse sweep already with a good first rail with that stack advantage here. And now going to continue on with that, of course, getting the weaponry in his arsenal.
We'll see if ZenAku can bring this one back and tie us at 1. The pastas are strong in the chat today. Lethal.
Lovely.
Always love to see it here. Zen down below knows that Spart1e's somewhere, and Spart1e has to be careful not to get floated off the edge. Good try bolt, though, all things considered. A little bit more through the drive-through window, and we saw in map number 1 Spart1e using the try bolt very, very well as well. So is this a new Spart1e, maybe?
It could be. It really could be. Or it could be a one-day wonder. I'm not really too sure at this point. Oh, okay. So he went for... He used to hope to go for the light, but it gets taken... Or almost taken down anyway. As now he has gone orb for quite a while. 25 seconds. Of course, he's going to be prioritizing those hourglasses. ZenAku did have an indicator, a read of where he was, but that tri-bolt definitely confirmed it. Just a matter if he wants to rocket jump up and seal the deal, but decides not to. Oh, what a great direct as well. So ZenAku, top mid control. Could be a matter of time. Depends how aggressive he is approaching Spart1e.
This should be it. Just missing out on the opportunity there. But the orb used again to grab that armor shard. I believe ZenAku heard that, and he still has Flame Strike as well, and he's been dealing so much damage. We saw the Hundo Rocket. We saw a lot of rails. Decent damage there, but returned well from Spart1e to keep him off his back. So far, seems to be in the favor of ZenAku here. So he's dealing big early damage. 4 heavies in his name, only 1 mega. But just looking for that opening frag. Just can't get the damage he needs to open this one up yet, Lethal.
It's been a little bit unfortunate at the moment. Spart1e been doing a good job just keeping his distance. A decent amount of range also. ZenAku hasn't got a full-on read on where Spart1e could be. Spart1e just playing it very slow again. It must be quite annoying for ZenAku, considering this is the style of play he normally plays, but now someone's mirroring exactly what he normally does. He now needs to try and adapt to the best of his ability. But so far, so good here for ZenAku. Even though he hasn't got a frag to his name as of yet, just keeping up with the item control. Already got 8 items to the 2 of Spart1e. And people are wondering, or probably wondering, why is Spart1e not pushed up yet? Why has he not really gone for these items or even attempted to contest it? It's because he hasn't done any chip damage. That was a good bit of chip, speak of the devil, as he's now pushing on back. And now he can the opportunity to contest it. But in terms of verticality, ZenAku has a huge advantage here. Even though Spart1e does come up, but gets... or just does absorb that last rail, does back away once more. Did try and go for the mega just a little bit too early, but if ZenAku didn't hit that rail, then Spart1e would have been able to stand his ground and at least do a little bit more damage onto ZenAku, but it's just not going to happen. Heavy up in the next couple of seconds. And like I said before, ZenAku, huge stack, just a matter of how and when he's going to get this first frag.
Yeah, this is pretty absurd right now. I mean, we always talk about the difference between defensive and passive, and Spart1e is virtually not seen on the map. Not even really showing up to do a lot of damage on these majors. You saw the tribal volley right there, but he's taking a rail on his escape, and it's only a matter of time before he gets planted, and maybe that one, a little bit of a shoulder peek there. Zen easily grabs this mega, and he's just running the map, but somehow Spart1e still surviving, and I don't understand how this is happening, and Spart1e turns it around with the Dire Orb!
That's unbelievable. When Spart1e's coming in again, it was trying to or ZenAku are trying to contest for that heavy, but a little bit too late here. ZenAku is trying to survive. Oh, the 64 is going to give him the indicator to try and push it on forward. Will he be able to? Yes, he does. Spart1e with a 2-0 lead. Do you know what? I like the new Spart1e here for you.
This is incredible. This is a Spart1e that it's been a minute since we've seen this. Both players extremely weak here, but Spart1e has the hot hand, and he gets another one. 3-0 in the blink of an eye. This is Spart1e.
So he is. Oh, lovely direct as well.
Oh my god.
Straight in with the flame strike. Survives. Got all the weapons in his arsenal again. Spart1e going straight on forward. Hits him with the rail. Is he going to go for the second? But he hits the 77. He's going to orb up onto the top mid to get away. But he's actually baiting him to think that he was running off. Mega is still up. 4-1 in favor of Spart1e here. And I still can't get over that first frag. ZenAku, for him, sadly, he had the much bigger stack, but Spart1e still came out on top. Hits the first round again. Looking for the second as he's going for the heavy. Does get him. So at least that way, it's kind of a little bit of waste for ZenAku now. Still on the hunt. Still on the chase here. And I love how Spart1e's playing. It's just got that nice balance, that offensive and defensive balance here, just to throw ZenAku off a little bit.
And that good Spart1e. This is the Spart1e in lower bracket that, took Rafa to the final map here. Zen takes another rail, and he's just hanging out too long, a little bit too early on the Mega. And Spart1e capitalizes 5-1, and his rail is just absolutely heating up. 11 for 17, 64%. And now with his newfound playstyle of, being defensive and attacking at the right time, this Spart1e seems unstoppable right now,
Yeah, she's coming up from both of them. Oh, he does hit the rails. ZenAku's in a world of trouble, but so with the flame strike. Does have the bubble, but then again, will he be able to survive? So, yes, he does. Tries to fire a cheeky rocket through the gap to see if he can at least get a little bit of damage whilst he's waiting for that Mega, but not going to happen. Hits the first rail vote. ZenAku's still going to go for it. Tried to go for the heavy, which I'm a little bit surprised about. Maybe he's shooting for it. He's just going to rocket jump up as soon as he picks up anyway, just to burn it and go for the next frag. But Spart1e's looking so good. He even whips out the rail here. Almost. Oh, no, is he going to go? Oh, very close. Just a pixel for Spart1e to try and hit, but does not hit it in the end. Spart1e just tried to hold top mid. Still being very aggressive considering the amount of HP he has. He's only on 38, but ZenAku has a stack to play with. Only has 3 minutes and 40 left on the clock. I kind of feel like ZenAku's playing a little bit too passive for my liking, especially when he had the stack advantage for the majority of the start of his game and in the previous map. But maybe he's just trying to figure out what Spart1e's up to.
Just missing out on the rail angle. Chasing him through. There it is. Nice rail and the chase down. Should come out. Spart1e doing a good job of keeping distance and making it difficult on Zen. Big rocket as well. Zen does land the rail. There's the rocket jump, and what a cutoff. ZenAku says absolutely not. That stops now. Puts his second frag on the board with 3 minutes left. That's exactly what he needed. Skips over that rocket. Now he's powering through the telly. Decent rocket damage around the corner. Nice rail, and Spart1e's very weak.
And this is a ZenAku we should have saw really right at the very start of this game. The very start of this series, but now does have the opportunity to claw his way back. Just needs 3 frags in the next 2.5 minutes. And it's definitely doable, especially if he keeps his items in full control. As the audio cue there, he's going to push top mid. If he changes style now and plays it super aggressively for the last few moments of this matchup, then he should be okay. Could catch him here. Hits the first rail. Spart1e actually goes for the light in the end. He's going to be able to get away. He does, but it doesn't even go for the TP. He actually goes all the way round. Still gets away. The question is, though, could Spart1e continue from getting away for the next couple of minutes? I'm not really too sure, but with the orb in hand and the hourglasses in check, he might be able to.
Spart1e just so elusive right now. Greased up Spart1e. Hardest Spart1e to catch. There's a rail. There's the flame strike. Zen trying to throw anything he can. Spart1e's way needs that damage, but he can't find the angle. Might be able to. Machine gun Spart1e around the corner. 50 HP. Hanging on for dear life. Just trying to make this as taxing as possible on the time left. Oh, when he tries to steal that Mega, but dies on the way out. And now Zen with a huge opportunity to tie this up. 1:30 down 2. He's got full run of the map as well, and Spart1e doesn't have items. He doesn't even have a lot of weaponry to work with. No rail, does rocket jump to grab that so he can play hyper defensive at a distance as well, and the pressure's on Zen right now, Lethal.
Yeah, ZenAku's finally woken up probably a little bit too late, but at least he can make a go of this to tie this series up. Takes that first round. Spart1e's hit another one though, but the only problem is for him, didn't get in time before the Mega. Now ZenAku trying to recover, but doesn't really have a lot of time left. Like we said, a minute left remaining. Does have to heavy, but needs to be all aggro, over aggression. His sliders hits the first round, needs to go for the second, use that flame strike, a little bit optimistic there. Orbs up onto top mid. Great play, great move there from Spart1e. Is able to waste at least additional 10 seconds just from that sneaky little move. And Spart1e now has actually got some good rockets, but not enough to maybe change the outcome here. ZenAku just hoping that Spart1e gets a little bit impatient and aggressively goes for the TP. Not going to happen. Spart1e's still trying to back away. LG comes out, but who's going to take it? ZenAku is. Only one frag left for him to tie this up. But he's only got 20 seconds and he's got the Mega. Not for the next 15 seconds. Probably Spart1e's got the heavy here.
He's got to take this fight. Flame Strike is in hand. He just needs to find at least a rail to try and open it. Maybe Rocket Jump up. There it is, but he misses the Rocket Jump. And Spart1e could just keep the high ground, and he should be able to take this one. And Spart1e hits him with a smiley face. Oh my god.
Oh dear. That was, do you know what? That's probably the best defense I've seen from Spart1e in a long time. Look at the item control. ZenAku had 29 items. And Spart1e had a measly 8. It was basically just a Tom and Jerry fest, wasn't it, throughout the entirety of the last few minutes. We didn't expect him to, I wouldn't say he was full on defensive, but he just had very good defensive rockets. You saw on the other case he did try to challenge for the items, especially for that Mega, but was just not able to. But at the very end, when he spawns and was able to get the rockets, was able to get the heavy, that's when you know it was basically curtains here for ZenAku. And yeah, a little bit unfortunate. I do feel like for ZenAku, he could have been a lot more aggressive, especially with the stack he had at the start. Kind of a very similar outcome to what he had on Veil, but it's just one of those things. When he started feeling himself getting into the groove, you could see he was getting better and better, but it's just a shame it didn't happen a bit sooner.
I just love the smiley face. Spart1e hit him with the smiley at the end, Lethal. 7-5 as we take a look at the stats, and you're absolutely right. That's got to be frustrating for ZenAku. Unfortunate for him, but this is by far the best we've seen Spart1e play as a full package this season so far. And if you're a Spart1e fan, you hope he keeps it up. 2 maps in the bag, looking for a clean sweep. Flea, if you're out there, I don't know how often that happens with Spart1e, but please chime in if you can. But yeah, quite the performance to start off the day. Spart1e is having quite the party.
And look at that though, both playing 63% in terms of the rail. I think the rocket damage from Spart1e was like 1400 as well. It just shows how great his reads were in terms of the defensive rockets, his position he had. He just chose he chose what he wanted to do very wisely, took a lot of caution to what he wanted to do. But it's like I said, it seems like Spart1e has the better balance in terms of when to be offensive and defensive compared to what ZenAku was like. Sadly for ZenAku, there was a little bit of aggression here and there, but at some time you kind of felt like he was playing too passive for my liking. It just should have just gone guns blazing at certain areas, especially when you had like huge stack advantages. But at the same time, when he did try to challenge or try to push him forward, just a little bit too slow doing it. Maybe could have gone for certain flanks instead. But like I said, Spart1e played a very good defensive game over his last few minutes.
Yeah, back to the drawing board indeed. I mean, every time he did push, Spart1e just had that defense that seemed unbreakable. He was hanging on by a thread here and there, but also the elusiveness. I mean, I didn't think that EU gave, you know, much of any respect to NASCAR, but he had him running in circles. He had him running in circles, Lethal. But map number 3 is going to be underway shortly, and Zen has to dig deep to try and get one. I mean, again, I don't know how often it is that we see Spart1e with a clean sweep 3-0, but he's working on it, and it's impressive. It's impressive. Looking at the predictions, though, chat doesn't care. 71% in favor of Zen. Are you not watching the same games that we're watching? I don't understand. But, I mean, it is BJ versus Visor on Ruins. I could see why they would go that way. But I don't know. It seems like Spart1e is unstoppable right now.
Yeah, it seems like that, and look, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised with the prediction, but I think in terms of the champion picks, Visor versus BJ, absolutely, yeah. Visor should have not a huge advantage, but advantage enough to really be a real nuisance, sort of falling on the backside of Spart1e, especially if he plays defensive again on those last few moments. But it's strange because ZenAku, I kind of feel like the way he should win this third map now, he's kind of felt his groove. You can see he's playing a lot better in that second half, but it's kind of because he was forced to play that aggressively because of him having that 5 frag deficit, and that's one deficit you do not want, especially on a map like Awoken with the multiple ways you could get away, and of course with the ore playing a huge part. You saw Spart1e make good use of it again and again, not just damage, but in terms of being able to get away. But for the BJ, you know, we've seen it on the odd occasion here in On Ruins, not enough to really be able to slide in his favor. Okay, maybe again he could help himself out going for the items or challenging them with the LG or maybe with the rails, depending on the circumstances. But if Spart1e continues playing the way he's playing, then no reason why I can't take map number 3 either. But for ZenAku though, I think a lot of people with the channel points are just literally double or nothing at this point, or triple or nothing, I don't know.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that it was essentially someone's just dropping 250K on predictions for Zen, and that's what's kind of just making the balance go like that immediately. So now it's a little more even now that more people are getting the predictions in, 42% to 58, still in favor of ZenAku, but it's been that way for the first 2 maps, and you know, people are just ride or die ZenAku. So, and I keep switching the way I say it, and I'm not going to stop. My brain is still trying to comprehend how to pronounce his name, so I'm just going to start saying Zen Lethal because I can't read and it's really difficult for me. I'm glad that you called me out. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm in the
so
same
they pair us together. Production's always in our ear, like read it. I can't. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. PGL.
Two people can't read. This is unbelievable. it's an awful thing putting us both together. Absolutely awful. I bet it was you who put the 200K points on Zen. I bet. See, I've started saying Zen now. See,
I'm not, but I can't. That's insider trading, and I don't do that, Lethal. Okay, zero channel points predicted ever. Yeah, exactly. Always predict the under. But we are going to get into map number 3. The players are loaded. ZenAku needed a bit of a breather on that one, and who can blame him? As Spart1e again working on a 3-0 to start off our week 13 here at the Quake Pro League. Can Spart1e do it? We'll find out in 10 short minutes as we're going to start off on his POV on Ruins.
Let's have a gander to see how Spart1e's going to start things. Already pushing across, but ZenAku gets a nice little rail shot straight away. It's one of his own, but the problem is Spart1e is available. As I was saying that, though, just managed to recover with BJ's passive, but in the end, takes himself down. You saw the gauntlet come out there from ZenAku to try and finish things up, but it doesn't matter. It was basically just delaying the inevitable whatnot. Look at this. Spart1e now missing a lot of his shots. Not the easiest of angles, don't get me wrong, but the problem is both the Mega and the Heavy's up. He does have a choice, but I don't think he's got really much of a choice now because he stood a little bit too long around that top mid area waiting for him to come out from the Mega. I don't think he was too sure whether he dropped down or actually went top mid. But even then, though, still playing this quite aggressively. But I like this from ZenAku now. This is much better from what we saw compared to the first 2 maps.
Yeah, definitely the start. Ooh, okay. Nice combo there as well. A little bit of LG into rail, and Spart1e not happy. Not happy about the situation right now. Down 3 early. Dual wield comes out. Can he dance? And he can't dance all day as Zen takes another one. A 3 to -1. And different Spart1e? I don't know. We'll see. A lot of time left, Lethal. A lot of time left.
Yeah, we would wait for like 2 or 3 minutes for the first frag, but now we're on one of the largest maps in the map pool. Suddenly, it's technically 4 frags. Unbelievable. It's just, this is purely due to the fact that ZenAku is warm, is ready now. And this is how he should have been playing the first 2 maps. He's going to be kicking himself, but he's got to make the best out of a bad situation, doesn't he? At least take this map. At least it won't be a 3-0, and then we'll see what happens afterwards. But still early days as of yet. We're just shy of the 2-minute mark, because ZenAku does have the stack advantage. Heavy's going to be up. Both items aren't really that segregated in the slightest, so we're going to see a lot of gentlemen's agreements to pick these items up over the next minute or 2. But of course, he will be prioritising the hourglasses for days here. Got a good angle as well. I was looking to see if he can rotate back around. Lovely little rail here from Zen. Spart1e now looking to try and survive, at least pick up the lights, which he has done. So he managed to get away for now. ZenAku just daring him to go in towards that Heavy. Was assuming for the audio cues he may drop down, but he does not. Didn't push too aggressively from that Heavy jump pad. Looks like he's going to go around to the T and see if he claws on that, which he has done. Caught him with his trousers down. Lovely stuff. A very clean frag from ZenAku. And look at the stack he had. He could just push straight on in. Dual comes out, but with the machine gun, not going to do a huge amount. Did a fair amount, actually saying that, but does have the piercing sight. Still got the weapons in his arsenal, which means he can just stop Spart1e in his tracks. Going to go for the 6th frag. Will he be able to? Of course he will. 6-1 in favour of ZenAku.
I don't understand the positioning at all from Spart1e on that previous mega pickup. He gave up the high ground, and then he had to fight back up the stairs and let Zen waltz on in and take it. Spart1e does grab this one in the cycle, but he's still down by 7. 3 minutes in, and this is a different Spart1e. I mean, if you take a look at the stats, he's only hitting 33% rail. But just in general, this is a bit odd after the first 2 maps. And Zen, on the other hand, hitting everything, rail after rail. Doing a great job of applying pressure and grabbing these items. And just like that, Spart1e does get a rail, but overall, Zen will win the heavy. Does need to be careful as he is low on HP.
He certainly is. Spart1e, though, has got to try and claw back 7 frags, even just to tie this up. ZenAku just teetering on the edge here. With that piercing sight, he'll know. Oh, I was like, do you know, at one point I thought that was going to be the rocket. I was like, no way, especially from the distance and the angle he was at the time. But it does pick up the heavy, so give us a little bit of leeway here. He's now going to be approaching that mega. He's got a great position for it as well, but Spart1e realises this, decides to try and be a little bit more aggressive. Good rockets though coming out from Spart1e, but that's not going to be enough. Mega can be there for the taking. Items are heavily segregated, which means that if ZenAku, if he keeps making sure to try and keep this up, and then Spart1e's just asking if that's Garpy or not, just due to the fact that the rockets have been absolutely insane. Of course, Garpy is the lead rocket man himself in E4E.
Yeah, I feel bad that chat missed that one, but Spart1e still down 8. ZenAku looks to put up at least 1 map in this set. But what a comeback this would be to cap off a 3-0. If Spart1e can dig deep and throw one last party lethal. In 5 minutes, 8 frags to take us into sudden death. Do you believe?
No.
Okay.
Well, okay, maybe.
You said it. You locked it in. Look what happens.
I would be surprised at this point because ZenAku's still playing really well anyway, no matter what shenanigans he has. But this is the thing, is though, he has the piercing sight to fall back on defensively, but Spart1e's actually playing.
What is happening?
Well, it's like he's heard me say that, nah, it's just not going to happen. But 5 frags now in 5 minutes. Okay, look, before it was not good. Now, okay, he has a little bit of a chance. He has a slimmer of hope, shall we say.
Spart1e, the mayonnaise man, is powered by doubt. Down 5 now, and in 30 seconds, put up about 3 frags. Not bad at all, still a tall order. But now, Zen is starting to miss these rails that he was hitting before, and that's just more of an opening for Spart1e to come back.
It certainly is indeed. He's got the time to work with. It just depends on how well he can invest his time and get these frags. It's not like he's got the speed or mobility, he's only got the dual walls when he comes up close and personal, but ZenAku's doing a great job just playing the range game, playing this defensively, hitting this chip damage with that rail, and that's exactly what he should be doing. Both players have been playing out their minds in terms of the rail, and he's pushing straight on forward, trying to use a dual with those rockets. ZenAku has been pinned only for a little bit. Oh, the good rail there from Spart1e. He has to challenge though. He feels like that there's not time left to muck around or to dilly-dally around it, so to speak. But he's actually going to challenge him for this heavy. Even though he picks it up, ZenAku just burned him. And now, items are not going to be up for a while, but Spart1e is definitely in a position to at least continue this aggression with the stack he currently has. But saying that though, ZenAku does manage to get away once more. Got to find 4 frags in the next 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Definitely doable. Just depends how quick Spart1e can pull this off.
ZenAku just trying to do some chip damage, but he's eaten a rail for his trouble, and now he might lose out on the heavy as well. And it looks like he does. Just drops down and sees that rocket flying by, and that's the signal, do not enter. 4 frag deficit for Spart1e, working with just under 3 minutes. Can he make this almost impossible comeback happen? There's a nice placed rocket, and somehow combos it into the rail. There's no escape for ZenAku.
Unbelievable stuff here. Spart1e now still has the stack, managed to pick up that mega. Heavy's up in the next couple of seconds. ZenAku realises fate is going to outstay his welcome, so decides not to continue contesting the heavy, but it's definitely right next to him here. He's been caught off guard. Attack. Lovely rails again from Spart1e. 2 more frags now. Definitely heard me earlier. Starting to feel a bit bad considering what we've seen so far. Just playing absolutely out of his skull and just making great reads also, just trying to catch him here and there. And ZenAku is playing a little bit better defensively, but the problem is if he's getting caught with this chip here and there and just adding more and more damage to the tally for Spart1e.
Oh my
It's
God.
not going to work out for him. Is he going to hit this next one? Surely. Which actually coming up. The rocket and does hit him with the rails still here, 40.
I should have worn diapers. This is crazy. I think everyone is clinched fully in chat. Less than 2 minutes, he's brought this back. He's looking for the tying frag. As ZenAku drops down into the heavy area, trying to escape. Spart1e, denying everything on the map, has become a different animal in the last 5 minutes of this one. Does take a rail, but the Mega's right there for the taking. And now Zen has to play this very carefully for the last minute and a half. He cannot give up an 8 frag lead.
We just have to talk about the read Spart1e's making. It's not even the routes which ZenAku's even taken. He's even been a little bit more unorthodox with a couple of routes over the last couple of minutes, but still Spart1e just reading like a book here. Missing a couple of rails now. He's getting closer to all tied up. Picks up a like to save his troubles. Mega's up in the next couple of seconds, waiting to see if ZenAku's going to go for it. He actually decides to back away. Interesting. And
oh no.
Still trying to get away. Oh, the LG looking good, but still the rail comes out from Spart1e. Now he's up in the next couple of seconds. If he just recovers and continue this is looking so good. Again, it's just the adaptation from Spart1e in the second half of this matchup. Who would have thought the fact that Zen was up 7 to -1 or 6 to -1, and Spart1e's clawed his way back over the last 4 minutes. Insane stuff here. Could be another sudden death depending on this next Mega setup.
And this is incredible. He's boxing out from Majors. Zen in a bad way right now takes the rail. Spart1e has no armor, almost takes another one, but he's going to drop down. This is very dangerous. Both players so weak. Next rail can take it. Spart1e retreats up the jump pad for the armor shard. No item up for 15 seconds. Dual wield is alive and well, but no vision for Zen. There's a decent rocket here from Spart1e as he's going to try and make his way possibly to this outer shard, and the rail just missing. And we're going into another sudden death. Great rail from ZenAku right there. But Lethal, how have we gotten here?
This
Spart1e in 5 minutes has turned this around.
I hope Spart1e doesn't tease us with this comeback and then lose. I'm hoping not, but let's see what happens. Does get away. But how long for though? Is he going to assume he's gone for courtyard? Actually, he decides to prioritize the heavy again. So it looks like ZenAku wants the biggest stack possible before re-engaging with Spart1e. But when he's going to go, he has to just go. He can't mess around here. He's already got that first rail, so important. But the problem is, will Zen make the right read? He's still going to stay top mid. It looks like he wants to again.
No rockets.
But he's trapped in the courtyard. This could be it for Spart1e. This could be his last hurrah. But still able to stay alive. Surely not though. Zen's just going to be waiting for a while. Does almost putting that 11 HP. Finally, ZenAku takes him down. Oh, Spart1e just teasing us there with an incredible comeback. But for ZenAku, fine claws his way back. You can see the item control difference there. 23, I think it says 17 to 18. Didn't really catch it. But for Spart1e though, what a comeback. I haven't seen a comeback like that since, I think since when Ave was coming back against Kilson on the same map, believe it or not, a couple of years ago. That was ridiculous.
That was absurd, and in the end, it was just all a tease, Lethal.
Yeah.
So close, but ZenAku able to maintain composure and say, this is enough, and he ends it. So it will be 2-1. Spart1e still takes the series, but Zen's able to put a map up. But wow, what a performance from Spart1e. I think everyone should take this as a testament that you should have 2 or 3 spoonfuls of mayonnaise a day so you can grow up and be strong like Spart1e.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to take you up on that, I think. Yeah, I'm going to completely agree. But yeah, it's just incredible, isn't it? It's just mad how this shaped up, how this happened. 7 to -1, and then still tied up 7-all on a map like Ruins, where he hasn't even got the mobility or anything. He's just using the BJ. He's only got the dual wood. It's not like he's got piercing sight or can use an aggressive ghost walk or slide here, there, and absolutely everywhere to try and claw his back. It was just purely due to his raw aim skill, but most importantly, his adaptation in the reads he was making. Spart1e was just playing out of his mind, and feel bad for him because of the fact that it could have been a 3-0, and if he changed that way, that would have been a fantastic way to not just end the series, but of course to continue on further into the Pro League in the future weeks, because every win is going to be huge now for all these players, especially Spart1e, considering he is at the low end of the table. He is currently 11th, but I'm sure now he's going to pick up a few more placements after that kerfuffle. But yeah, but why oh why? Spart1e, at least he takes it 2-1 though, that's the main thing. And you got a prediction right, 40, so actually no, actually it's the opposite end, so no, none of it. We didn't get any predictions right,
sweet,
you know, let's just ignore that, forget what I just said.
It's great. No, I appreciate you. How dare you. Again, I'm flabbergasted. I'm gobsmacked, as you'd say, at the overall performance of Spart1e. It was just end-to-end fantastic play. Even taking it to sudden death, 8 frags down on Ruins. He literally did that in the last 5 minutes of the game, maybe 4.5. It's just absurd. It was a shame that he couldn't put the stamp on it at the very end. You know, Zen able to maintain composure, as we said, and close that out. But wow, just an absolute dominating performance from Spart1e, end-to-end, very well played. And just incredible. And that's the kind of Spart1e you want to see as we get closer and closer to finals. That is an incredible performance.
It certainly was. That was like the old version of Spart1e we know and love compared to the first team maps. But it worked. And let's be honest here, if you're down 7 to -1 and you've got 5 minutes left, there's not really much else you can do. You can't play hyper methodical and then assume that the kill is going to come to you. No, then absolutely not, because ZenAku's going to play the exact same game. He's got Pierce in sight. You're pretty much done for. But yeah, Spart1e was flirting with the idea of that comeback, but just teased us in the end. How dare you? But in the end, it was a great show nonetheless. And nice to see Spart1e get a nice little W on the board.
Yeah, not a bad way to start the day for Week 13 here, but we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have a Razy versus Cygib. Don't go anywhere.